Hey there, this is Colette of The Collective, and we are going to be doing a reading today. And I don't know why it's taking me so long to do this type of reading because I don't think this is talked about enough. We're going to see what is currently activating your nervous system. And, you know, some people have probably heard people talk about nervous systems and maybe don't quite understand. So basically, there's like three responses of the nervous system when you get like triggered, like really triggered. And it's fight or flight, which is one of my responses, nervous system responses, where I feel like I have to defend myself, or like I might even feel like I gotta run away, or, you know, like to feel safe, basically. I'm gonna apologize right now. I had to open my door because they're mowing the lawn next door and I couldn't keep my window open. So you might hear my dogs being obnoxious. And then there's freeze response, which feels like a shutdown where you don't respond at all, or you don't know how to like handle the situation, basically. And then there's a fawn response, which I can do this too, where it's kind of like a people pleasing thing where you're trying to fix, you know, something with somebody, like your connection. But, you know, nervous systems, when they get activated, it's like stress on your body too. So you might find, like me, like, I didn't sleep well last night and I was feeling really activated today. So I felt like sick to my stomach. I was feeling anxiety, like I have bad anxiety. So I was feeling anxiety in my chest. You know, it can lead to basically your body reacting to your nervous system being activated. So really, I'm just trying to help you figure out what's activating your nervous system, so that you can be aware of it, so that you can notice that it's a trigger and it's not real. Like, it's not your actual thought or the actual reality. Because a lot of times these things are, hey, lay down. A lot of these things are, you know, from the nervous system activations, are responses that our mind has made up in order for us to feel safe. Like for me, a lot of times it's when I feel out of control, like uncertainty, which I think a lot of people can relate to. So then I'm like thinking of the worst case scenario, and that's when it gets activated and I feel like I gotta fight or flight or fawn. Or sometimes I do, like, my body, well, not my body, but like I just want to shut down and I kind of zone out. So, you know, that's just kind of a little bit about it. But if you want more detail, Roscoe, stop. If you want more detail, I'm going to kick him out of here. Come on, let's go. That's up. If you want more detail, you'll have to, it's fine now, the sage is out, so I can kick him out of here. That's why I had it open. You don't want to ever have sage going when you don't have a window open. Just a free tip for you today. But yeah, if you want more information, you can look it up online. There's a lot of stuff out there about it. And I mean, there's a lot more detail, obviously, than what I'm giving you. So, you know, that's up to you, that part. But, you know, I kind of had the intention, I talked to God before I came on here, like I always do, that I want to see the big ones, like the big things that are activating you right now, so you can try to help soothe yourself. And I also want to tell you, I did say trigger warning, just in case I'm saying it again. I do want to tell you too that, you know, with these responses that you have to certain scenarios, certain people in your life that you're like, you feel safe with, but, you know, because of past relationships, you might have that trigger, that activation. It's not something that can necessarily like just disappear once you realize it. And I don't even know, like, I'm not an expert on nervous systems, to be honest with you. For me, I was looking it up today because I'm like, man, I thought I was past this, right? Just like trauma. And basically what the chat feature said was that it doesn't really disappear. It's just kind of like if it shows up, you have less of a response to it. And being that I had a hard day yesterday about my dad, there's other factors in there. So I think today it was extra amped up because of it. Because normally I feel like I'm like, no, or I don't really even have that thought anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's just because there's other things going on. So you want to take that as a factor too. Like getting to the bottom of, why you're having the thought can be helpful too, because then you kind of bring yourself back to center, right? Maybe I can, 9 of Cups, that's beautiful. Wish fulfillment. Maybe I can talk to Catherine. We have the Embers of Enlightenment podcast. I should start putting that in my spiel. We have it every Monday, and maybe I can talk to her about doing like a discussion on nervous systems, because there's a lot to it. You know what I mean? Like the response that you give, like the effect it has on your body, what can trigger it, and like that sort of thing. Nine of Swords. Some of you might, I feel like relationships, especially romantic ones, activate your nervous system a lot. Like that's one of your big ones. Like me. Sometimes too, where we are most comfortable or where we feel the safest is where we tend to, King of Pentacles, is where we tend to have the activation, because it's like, wait, this feels too good. I don't know. We had a story because at the bottom of the deck in the beginning. Yeah, it's kind of like you gotta, I hate to say battle your mind, but it kind of is like that, because your mind is going to a place where it's like, it's fear, right? It's not reality. It's fear. And not to say that the things that you fear can't happen, but I feel like you, we always make it bigger than it is, the Tower. One other thing I wanted to mention, and I forgot, is this is Lupus Lazuli. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And what came to mind with this crystal is stress. This helps with stress. So if you're really feeling extra activated right now and you have this crystal, I highly recommend carrying it around with you, and I'm going to too. I always forget about that one because it tends to get buried in my pile of oak crystals over here. So the other thing, nope, Tower just wanted to come out. The other thing I want to say, there's probably a lot of people who identify with the fact that taking any sort of action, you're either somebody who takes a lot of action, or maybe it's both. Taking action activates you for some reason. We're going to have to get behind that because I don't know what's triggering it yet. Oh, Emperor reverse and Queen of Wands. Interesting. Yeah, romantic relationships coming up for sure right here. Not everybody's going to resonate with this, but if you have been around a lot of dominant men and you felt like you had to bend to their will, like the Queen of Wands is very powerful. I'd say out of all the queens, she's like, I ain't taking no shit, okay? It's fire, right? It's passion, and I feel like your fire has been dulled out a lot by men, and that's something that you might still find yourself doing, like bending to their will. So you probably would be a fawn response sometimes, with romantic relationships for sure. Even if you're not with the tyrant, with the dominant. Well, your partner could be dominant, now, but maybe they have the good qualities that go with the dominance, right? It's like, okay, I understand you're my equal. We're both dominant. We both can be in power, right? Because the emperor is like the king, all the kings put together. So this is a very powerful energy. And you might think they're more powerful than you because you're just showing up as a Queen of Wands, but that's not the case. And this person doesn't want you to be less than, you know what I'm saying? Even if they sometimes act like it, because, you know, when we portray ourselves a certain way, like this Queen of Wands reversed, people in our life tend to go with it and just, you know, even if they don't see you that way, they tend to go along with it and not say anything. So then it's up to you to be like, hey, wait a minute, I'm the Queen of Wands, and I don't like the way that this feels anymore. I want us to be equals. And then, okay, sounds good, right? You might be having a hard time finding your voice because of past relationships, and this stone is also about communication. I almost said that and I probably should have, but we're saying it now. So yeah, I feel like a strong activation for some of you is roles you play in your relationships in general, okay? Like trying to be less than who you are activates your inner fire, or I mean, and you don't have to be a fire sign for that, like your inner self. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? This isn't who we are. Six of Swords, Nine of Pentacles. That's the second 9 there. End of a cycle. Love to see it. Okay, these two. 9 of Cups reversed. Well, screw you. 3 of Wands, that's good. And then shut up. The Empress and the Emperor, both in reverse. Yeah, I feel like this group probably tends to, oop, this is out of whack here, tends to not allow themselves to be cared for. If you resonated with this. Or maybe you just feel that way too, even if you don't resonate with that. I'm really thirsty, I apologize. But, oh wait. Well, shoot, my crystals aren't even in here. I'm pointing at them and you can't even see them. I'm so sorry about that. A lot of chaos going on here today, guys. So yeah, this is the Lupus Lazuli. There you go. What was I going to say? So I was talking about the Empress being in reverse. Yeah, you are a very nurturing individual, but you struggle to nurture yourself and allow others to do the same. So if you find that somebody is doing something for you, I'm going to give you an example actually of how I got activated yesterday too, and I didn't even realize it till just now. Excuse me. I've been in quite a few relationships in my life, and you know, it's something that bothers me when I think about it, but it shouldn't. I like to think that I gained a lot of experience and knowledge due to the fact that I've dated a lot of people. But, you know, I've had a lot of the same experiences, and that usually happens because you're living in a circle, right? Until you can break out of the cycle. So I was dating the same kind of people, and being that I was a people pleaser, more of a people pleaser, then I attracted the kind of people who took advantage of my giving nature. So yesterday, I just had a bad day. I didn't want to get out of bed. I was really upset. I was missing my dad terribly. Sorry about that. And I told my boyfriend, actually, I wasn't even going to say anything to him. He was out working. But then I was like, Colette, you need to say something. Like, this is the problem because you're not communicating your needs. And he has no problem doing that. And every time I communicate my needs to my boyfriend, he is right fucking there for me. So I said, tell him what's going on. So I did tell him I was having a bad day. And when I got home, I could tell I was still in that mood, or I knew I was in that mood. And, that sometimes projects onto other people, unfortunately, and I felt bad about that. I acknowledge it though, like I know that I'm being that way. And, I asked him, well, I was delaying asking him for a hug because my mind went, well, maybe he's not going to give it to me, even though I know he will. So as soon as I asked for that hug, guess what? I got it. So you might resonate with that, where it's very hard for you to ask because you've been let down so many fucking times. And it doesn't even have to be romantic. It can be friendships. It could be family. Like, yeah, you've experienced a lot of letdown from people and you're just waiting for that shoe to drop or somebody to, let you down again, because that's just what you expect now. Where do I want to go from here? Yeah, we're going to try to lighten it up because it's already feeling like, ugh. Because, and for me, it's because I resonate with everything so far. Maybe you won't, and I hope not. This wants to go here. Blaming the moon again. Blame it on the rain that's falling. Enlightened for 4 hours. Ooh, that just flew right out there. Does that want to go there? It landed over here. I don't know. I feel like it's got to go here. These colors kind of look similar, don't they? Blame it on the stars that shine and rain. So I was just thinking about something. You might... That's funny. When the pressure is on, and a lot of the pressure that you, look at that, made the list, ignored the list. This is literally what I was about to just say. Reading old text like a novelist, can't even, that feels more right. You might resonate with, you put pressure on yourself. Maybe you've got too much on your plate. Some of the things don't need to be on your plate. And then you have a meltdown. Then your nervous system gets activated and you shut down and this is a freeze response. You're like, I can't do anything. I don't know how to do it. Or you might be a procrastinator like me. I have ADHD, the inactive kind, and I am on medication, but when you factor in grief and other stress, it's very hard to stay centered. And the inactive kind of ADHD, it's like, not that you don't, and I'm so glad I found this out because I felt so lazy before, but it's not that you don't want to get things done, but it becomes so overwhelming. You don't know which order to do it in. Even if, there's been times where I'm like, I know exactly what I got to do in what row, but it's too much. If I had 2 things to do in a day where it was being around people, that would fucking overwhelm me. And I would shut down. So freeze, shut down. Shutting down is freezing, Colette. That would be my response there. So I feel like the action piece might be tied with that, where it's like, oh man, I've just got too much to do. It's overwhelming and I don't know where to begin, or I just can't. You just put all that pressure on yourself and then you're afraid of failing and you're afraid you're not going to get it done right because you're going to be rushing. And there's all these what ifs piling up in your head, right? So, I hate lists myself. But that's part of doing lists, is so you don't forget to do the thing, because that's part of why I get overwhelmed, is I know I have all these things to do, but I'm keeping them in my head because I'm not putting them on paper. But I've gotten better about it because I will just say, if I start getting overwhelmed, I'll just say, oh, I'm going to do that tomorrow then. That's just a tomorrow thing. And that might be something you need to adapt to doing as well. I think that guy's done. I'm going to open this window. It's hot. So, don't be hard on yourself. Oh, the window was cracked anyway. That's funny. Don't be hard on yourself. Just see where you're, purposely setting yourself up to not get stuff done, because that, if you even stuff out, if you kind of like say, like I'm doing, right? Like, oh, well, that can just be done tomorrow. Then it won't feel like as much. But, you know, sometimes I do that with work where I'm like, oh, it's fine, I got all this time. And then it's like, okay, but I don't, and I shouldn't be stalling on that, right? I gotta make money to live. So anyway, we've got the Ace of Wands with convincing yourself it's fine, denial, emotional suppression. And the Ace of Wands is like, we're moving fast forward. We're moving forward, taking action towards what we want to do. Like, it's fast movement. Okay, so, and you're over here like, oh, it's fine. I can move fast. I can get it done. But that's when that's when that loop comes in and you're trying to get all this stuff done. And you're like denying how it makes you feel, like being in a hurry. And we saw the Knight of Swords while we were shuffling too. So the Knight of Swords is the fastest moving knight. It's like you go 100 miles an hour like this, 100 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour, and you don't recognize when you're about to burn out. And then it's like, look at this. It's literally burning all around this skeleton. So you need, one of the things that, this is a nervous system activation, right? One of the things that would really help you is if you start paying attention to when you're losing steam and to stop going, okay? Like, take a break. Yesterday, or the day before, well, yesterday I did post a video, but I was gonna do a long video, and I was like, Colette, you literally just got a message to slow down. Like, just don't do anything today. You're grieving your father. Why would you put yourself, I know I put myself in that position, or tried to. I didn't do it. I'm really proud of myself. But when I'm doing this, I forget about everything else. Like, it's just what I love, right? And I can be in the moment with this. And it's not easy for me to do that with other things that I love, because I get in my mind. In this, I don't have to think. It's my intuition. It's, you know, my guides. It's God. It's all here, right? This is just easy to stay centered. Mostly. Sometimes it does happen where I get triggered, you know, I'm resonating with stuff too. I get triggered and then it's like, oh shit. But usually I can stay present with this. But anyway, I think that sometimes I do this because it's easy and, you know, it makes me feel good in the moment. But a lot of times it drains me and I don't feel good afterwards. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of times, but sometimes if I'm already drained, it can really drain me. I'm doing this today only because I took that break yesterday, and today I felt like this is something I needed. So it's a little selfish kind of thing, not gonna lie, but I figured if I'm gonna do this for myself, I'm gonna do it for you too, because I want to help you. I always say that. So I have motives, right? This is for me, but it's for you too. And you know, you might want to pay attention to those kind of things when you're really drained. What is the thing that you do, you think, oh, that's not a big deal because I love it, or there's not much to that, so I'll feel fine. And really, it's the thing that you do that really activates your nervous system, and then you're like shutting down completely, freezing, okay? I mean, you could have a different response, but that seems like the one that's coming up with the action piece. So I'm really noticing, before I kind of go into this, the black. Darkness feels like a thing. There might be individuals here, trigger warning, there might be individuals who are really depressed that are watching this video, and I feel for you. I've got a little bit of that going on right now myself. It's not easy. And when we're in the darkness already, that's going to highlight these things that activate our nervous system, right? So recognizing that right there is a good key, good tool for you, okay? So the Tower, like, it's upright, so that makes me feel a little better, because the tower is all about like, okay, the building's coming crashing down, or like things are falling off the building and it needs a repair. Okay, so I feel like, and then blaming the moon again, emotional twice, projection, lunar excuse. What I feel like with this card though, it's like anytime that you make progress, this is what it feels like. Anytime you make progress, it feels more like for a healing journey, but it could be anything. It could be a job, it could be a relationship, it could be project related. I don't know, whatever it is in your life that you're like moving towards a goal and you're getting stuff done, and then all of a sudden you have a hiccup. Like something comes up that doesn't feel good. It's like you just feel like everything's coming down on you. And maybe there's a lack of responsibility. Like, hey, I'm putting, gosh darn it, I didn't realize this was crooked until just now. I'm just a hot mess this video, but you know what? I don't care. Oh, I'm sorry. 1 second here. No, it's still crooked. You guys are probably getting motion sickness. Good enough. So, you know, you might be like, maybe it's involving other people. So you're trying to point the finger at other people, or like maybe there's something other people are doing, and then, you know, you have this like little bit of a couple bricks fall off your tower, and you're like, oh, well, you know, if so-and-so didn't do that, I was really doing a good job or something like that. So I feel like you really need to be conscious of that. That doesn't feel like a, well, let me pull one more card. It might be. I was going to say that doesn't feel like a really big one, but maybe it's like a one thing that triggers like other things. That's kind of what it feels like. Enlightenment. Yeah. Maybe you're already perseverance instinct. Maybe you're already trickery. Interesting. Look at with the blaming the moon. Maybe you're already kind of aware of this thing and you're working on it. This feels generational, honestly, with this trickery card and enlightenment and perseverance. And there's maybe a mother-daughter or grandmother and granddaughter passion. Yeah. I feel like this particular thing might be easy. And again, you might not resonate with all this. You might just resonate with this one, or like maybe you don't resonate with this one, whatever. There's a lot to this reading is what I'm trying to say. A lot of different moving parts, but you might already be aware of this nervous system activation. And this feels like perfectionism. This feels like, and it kind of was coming through in that first one too. Perfectionism might be a strong hurdle for you. This one, I was going to say, feels like there's other moving parts to it that activate the nervous system. I feel like I want to pull one more like tarot card for this one. It's funny, I almost did that. I might as well just make it even. Yeah, this reading is so all over the place, and it just really makes sense, honestly, because that's what your nervous system, so this wants to go here and this wants to go here. Your nervous system, oh God, the devil, of course. Your nervous system, I'm surprised, I almost put that there. Damn, I feel like it's got to be that, because I'm like, that doesn't really fit, this fits. So, you know, your nervous system, I forgot what I was saying because I got 2 of Pentacles. Oh, I'll have to call her back. I put on Do Not Disturb. Oh, well, she's one of the people that I have. Okay, anyway, all over the place. So what I'm trying to say is I feel like there's other things that happen, like other activations that happen before this one. for anybody who resonates with this one. And I don't know if it's going to come out. The devil is here. So we might be able to chime in on that. But this kind of just feels like it's amplifying my message of like, okay, well, it's giving a vibe of, okay, I've seen this happen before. These bricks start falling down, and then there's a fire, and then I'm falling off the tower, and lightning strikes the building. So it's kind of like a doomsday kind of thing with you with this cycle. It could be something that keeps happening or has happened in the past, but you're not actually seeing it happen now. You're thinking it is. So if you know what I'm talking about, I want you to think about what your role is, okay? Next time this happens, I want you to think about your role, and I want you to think about whatever it was you were thinking about before it happened. That's what I try to do is, okay, what was I just thinking about that triggered this activation? Sometimes it is an actual action you take or somebody else takes, but a lot of times I find myself, because if you're a thinker like me, it's because I thought something. But I'm going to give you an example, okay? So one of the things I did today that activated my nervous system was my boyfriend didn't sleep last night, or this morning, I should say, because we had a thunderstorm and one of our dogs is really loud and barks and is afraid. So she was barking and pacing, and like, she's a pacer anyway, but when you're trying to sleep, it's really hard. So we were both up early. But for me, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go back asleep, or try to go back asleep. I didn't sleep that well through the night either. In the morning was bad. So, you know, when I actually decided to get up and it was really late because I didn't sleep, my boyfriend had said that he didn't sleep this morning because of the dog, which I already kind of knew, but I took responsibility for that because I didn't get up and take care of the dog. So, see, that's a fawn response. And I shouldn't feel responsible for his sleep, right? Second of all, I could have gotten up and taken care of the dogs, but Lulu, the dog that paces, she still would have been barking. There's nothing I could have done, right? So that's a perfect example of nervous system activation. Because I have been in previous relationships where if I did something that was what someone else deemed as wrong, and maybe I deemed it, I started literally started looking at myself like I was a walking wrongdoer. I don't know. Like, I just thought everything I was doing was wrong, that I was looking for stuff wrong in me. So that's why that happens in my current relationship. And trust me, I am working on it, but it's hard when it's ingrained in your head that, boy, you're inconsiderate, or, oh, you know, it's all about you, or, you know what I'm saying? So, that's an example of like that thing, that scenario triggered a really big activation and response for me today. And I had like a fight or flight kind of feeling because I was scared. I'm fine now because I talked it out with myself, and I don't care if I look crazy. Like, you have to get to the bottom, but I had to realize what the trigger was. It took me a while to figure out what activated me. And once I did, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And because I'm, you know, the day before I had a bad day with the grief, pardon me, that made it worse today. Because normally I'd be able to get out of it pretty quickly. So I kind of rambled there, but it was important. I'm going to go back over here. So you got action with Three of Pentacles, which is help, okay, from other people. You need to remember that there are other people in your corner and ask for help. Part of your burnout is because you're not reaching out for support. See, I did that with my boyfriend yesterday, and then I also did that online yesterday. I normally wouldn't do stuff like that because I feel like, oh gosh, I'm looking for attention or something. But I was having a hard day, and I knew my family especially would chime in. And that's easier than reaching out to all these individual people. And I got a lot of support, and that felt great. So just remember that you have people, individuals around you who can help you and want to help you. Okay? And don't let the devil creep in here and tell you, like, that's exactly what the devil wants you to think, is that everything's going to come crashing down. It's like, this is a big one because it's like all the small nervous system activations coming into one thing to where it all like falls apart. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I was trying to get at. So then we got the Queen of Wands reversed, the Emperor reversed, enlightened for 4 hours, spiritual high, reality check. So I kind of already talked about the dynamic here. This is relational, especially romantic relationships. And so your activation here might be tied to dynamics in relationships. Like I said, if you ever feel like someone's playing you small, you get activated for sure. Okay, that was trying to come over here. Comes back. If it comes back, it's either meant to be or it's a roach. That should have landed here. I mean, that's who you were around before, roaches, right? Nope. Your bank account said no before the universe did. Okay. So we've got delete, block, delete the text, block the number, reclaim your peace. You are not the main character in their story. Wow. Ouch. Ooh, okay, I kind of like that one, though. I feel like this doesn't matter. And that doesn't either. Like, these are more romantic ones. I didn't know that when I got them. I wish I did, because I wouldn't have got it. I don't try to do anything love-related unless I specifically focus on that. And I'm not trying to fluff you. Like, I just give it to you straight. But I like this, you are not the main character in their story. So, perfect example was what I was saying, what happened this morning with my boyfriend, right? It's not about me. It's about him. I was making it about me and what I was doing. He didn't get rest. And I didn't get rest either, okay? But why was I making that about me? It wasn't about me. Do you know what I'm saying? So you might have a tendency to look for things to be wrong. That's a pattern. That's an activation. Sometimes when our nervous system gets activated, it's because we're looking for, like, it's more comfortable to look for the wrong thing. Like, you're searching for the wrong thing in your connections, or, anything in your life that you feel like usually goes wrong, right? That's obviously not a healthy thing to do, because then you're trying to set your connection or thing or whatever up to fail when it's not trying to do that. But I really pulled this card to see what about this card, because it really doesn't. So I get it now. You probably had a tendency, this card makes more sense now too. This is past energy. I mean, it could be current, but I feel like for most people, this is past. You had a tendency to attract more of I was downplaying the reversed Emperor energy. I did say tyrant, but really I was talking about dominant men. And I wasn't coming from a bad place. Having tyrant energy is much worse. And this is usually the Emperor reverse energy, but I wasn't feeling that because I'm seeing the now, not the then, okay? Which I probably should have been focusing on, because you probably put yourself around a lot of people, especially in romantic relationships, that were trying to dominate you and were tyrants, and you needed to block them, but you weren't listening, or, walk away from them, but you weren't listening, and you pretended like I know exactly what's going on, but you were ignoring exactly what was going on. And that might be a fear you have now. That could be your activation of like, I have that, where it's like, okay, I didn't know before, so what if I'm wrong now? Kind of thing. And that might trigger you, activate you, and then put you in a response, whatever response is yours, where you freeze, fight, flight, or fawn. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Wow. So then we've got Six of Swords, Nine of Pentacles, made the list, ignored the list, guilt, avoidance, shutdown. There's our freeze right there. This one has to do with money. There was a card that just came out about money, right? What did it say? That your bank account says? Yeah, your bank account said no. Is that another money? No. Oh my God, side quest. Shut up. That's funny. You're not behind. You're just on side quest 47. Oh my God, I'm dead. So, yeah, these decks are funny. I love it. So we're going to put that right there. So you probably, not everyone's going to resonate with this. Okay. Now, when I was talking about the issue with like the to-do list, and I did mention work, right? Part of my issue is I've had issues with money. I've had a love-hate relationship with money. I want it, I love it, but I also hate it because it's like the root of all evil, and we're always striving to live, and well, not everybody has to do that, but I do right now. I don't plan on doing that forever. So Six of Swords is talking about moving away, and then the Knight of Pentacles talks about abundance. So you might be teetering a lot on the money front, like the flow with money. You might feel sometimes that you're moving away from the money, or anytime it's evading you. That's an activation that happens for you, for sure, your nervous system. And it makes you shut down more, where you're like, oh gosh, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do. Even though you know how to solve it, but you don't want to solve it. You just want it to go away. That's where the shutdown comes in, and avoidance and guilt. So, if you're feeling like you could be carrying the weight, more of the weight financially in a connection, or just, at home, whatever, wherever, whatever you're doing, you're not going to be able to do it if you keep yourself in that loop of the love-hate relationship with money, or feeling like the lack mindset, feeling like it's moving away from you. And maybe it's not money. It could be anything, literally. Anything that's abundant for you. I'm trying to think of what else would be. I mean, it could be literally anything that feels that you love, that's abundant, okay? I think the big key for this group is that you gotta not put pressure on it. Like every time that you get something from the thing that you love, but especially money, acknowledge it. Thank God for the money. Say, even if it's like $10, thank you for this $10. It's really gonna help me out. Instead of going, oh man, I only got $10. I'll give you an example, another example, actually. This is a really good one. This is very recent, when I was going live from time to time, which I need to get back to, I want to get back to, I shouldn't say need. I was looking at it like, oh, well, maybe I can make enough money so I don't have to go out and do my other job. And then one day I realized, like, it took me years to realize this is just, for now, I plan on it being my main source of income one day, but for now, this is just extra money, and I should look at it like that. This is an extra little something when I make money, and that's great. Why am I looking at it like from that angle of, oh man, now I gotta go work. I didn't make enough. And then I feel less than because I didn't get enough readings. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the kind of loop, that's the kind of activation that's happening here. It's coming from a lack mindset instead of an abundant one. And I know like all these things are hard because it's like ingrained, right? That's why it affects you the way it does, but you can get out of it, I promise. So then we've got the Nine of Cups reversed, Three of Wands with over-explaining everything, anxiety, insecurity, rambling. And insecurity with the Nine of Cups reversed, like literally wild, because you're like, okay, I have all these dreams, all these hopes, all these wishes out here. And the Three of Wands is literally about opportunity. I have all these opportunities, but doesn't matter. I'm never going to get them. And here's why. Or I want them. I have the potential to get them, but what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? You know what I mean? It's like you're literally waiting for the shoe to drop. And the fact that this is here next to the Nine of Pentacles, like the lack, right? Well, my dreams never came true before, but is that really true? Do you have things that happen in your life that at the time that was your dream? Maybe your dreams have changed. Maybe you need to look at that. Like, yeah, and I'm feeling a very, what's the word? Well, I almost said rigid, so that might need to come out, but a jittery energy out of this skeleton. So your anxiety feels jittery. Yeah, you might talk a lot when you're anxious. You might feel like you need explanations for yourself or others. It might be more of an excuse kind of thing. Like somebody offers you this opportunity and then you're like, well, yeah, that sounds great. And then you get in your head about it and you're like, well, I don't really have this right now, so I don't know if I can do that at this time. One second. A lot of distractions. Distractions might be a activation for you. If you get, like if someone knocks you off of your thought or what you were planning on doing, I know that for me, that's definitely a thing with my ADHD. If someone makes plans that I'm not anticipating, I don't like it. Like Justin is on the fly type person. And then I say to myself, well, okay, but if he asked you to do it any other day, and especially like around the house, right? If he asked you to do it any other day, you wouldn't want to do it either. So, it's like, yeah, this would be very anxious type people. Like if you don't have bad anxiety, I don't think this is going to apply to you. I mean, it could still, but it feels like you have this idea of what something looks like in your head, like this Nine of Cups, like your wish fulfillment, your dreams, all of that. And then someone hands you an opportunity and it's not what you thought, but it's not bad either. It's a good thing. And you're like, oh, you're like kind of let down. And you're like, well, this wasn't at all as I expected, so it's not going to work out. And then you go into, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about... So, yeah, I think there's a very nervous energy around, this feels more tied to like work type things or career type things where you're like trying to oversell yourself, but you don't need to, is what I'm trying to get at here in a long roundabout way. But someone made you feel that way at some point. And I feel like this response, this might be a fight or flight or a freeze response that you have here. It's going to depend on the person. So last but not least, we've got the Empress reversed with can't even. Overwhelmed, shut down, apathy, shut down again. Yeah. I feel like you're a different person. I actually feel like this might resonate with a lot of people. And I think this could be true for everyone. You're a different person when you get activated, and you might come off as less nurturing. I feel like this group is very nurturing, and you come off as cold. The Queen of Swords, we saw her while we were shuffling. The Queen of Swords is very cold. Like she's just shut off. if she's in the reverse, she's more cold than when she's upright, but she's blunt and to the point. She's not coddling anybody. I should have got, yeah, well, might as well. We already have been up and down. I was like, I should have got something upbeat to end the reading with because this one was rough. So yeah, you might feel like, how are those cards at now? You might feel like you don't like yourself when you're activated by something here or there. So or you might even find that people don't like you when you're activated. I mean, they still like you, but it's like, okay. Like my boyfriend will literally say, "What's wrong with you right now?" And I'm like, I know. I'm sorry. I know I'm being this way. Oop. My God, this is just a hot mess. And do you see how I'm still moving through it, even though it's a hot mess? That's the key. Like, life isn't perfect. We can't expect it all to go exactly how we want all the time. As long as you're moving forward, that's it. We gotta keep moving forward. So I want to say, like, I wasn't trying to downplay this nervous system activation because I feel like it is one of the big ones. I feel like any of these side quests here could be the big crash and burn for you. And it's not that nothing's going to work out for you. I don't mean that. Please don't take that on. I mean for you, the shutdown, the fight or flight, the fawn response, like the big one, right? Where it is like, oh God, I can't take this. And that's when your body activates, your nervous system activates, and you're just like feeling some kind of way. So please make sure you're giving yourself grace, kindness, love, support, all of that when you're going through these nervous system activations, okay? Even if you just do it with yourself. So I'm going to do a couple affirmations, and they're funny ones to lighten the mood before I leave you, because, and before I leave me here, because boy, joyful space, we love it. It was perfect. Now that we found love, what are we gonna do with it? That's a good question. What do you do now? It's like you don't know how to be, like, you're soft, right? But you don't know how to be in your soft girl or guy receiving your compliments. Yeah, we love it. This one's about giving them out, though. I mean, you could need to receive them communication. I'm dead. Okay. Joyful space. Uh-oh. Has your workplace, and it could be any place, slid from model of cleanliness to graveyard of mugs? From Pinterest pic to Kathy cartoon. Oh my God, where are my Kathy cartoon folks at? I used to love that when I was younger. Time to get a second job. I'm showing my age. Time to get a second job. The job of giving your surroundings a makeover. You may be chained to a desk, but it's not a prison. Use your freedom of expression to make your space as joyful as you can. Ditch the clutter, hang some pics, sage that cubicle. Saging, see, I kept on trying to sage, but it wasn't working out. But I did sage before I came on, I promise. So at least we got that. Spruce up your space and you'll earn the excuse to be lazy and messy all over again. So, well, whatever, we won't read those. Compliments. I know how good it feels to get a compliment, so I give that gift to others. I find a nice compliment for everyone I interact with today, even if I have to think really hard about it, in which case I can follow up by complimenting myself for solving such a complex puzzle. Wow, I'm skilled. You might have people around you that, you know, when you think about cats, they're more independent. They don't really play well with other animals. I mean, there are cats that like being around other pets, but they're the most independent of the pets, I feel like. Like, we have a cat right now, and she does not, I mean, she's kind of warming up to our dogs, but she'd rather be alone, 100%. So you may have someone that around you that doesn't really play well with others, or you feel that way, and it's kind of telling you, like, hey, you know, we all have those people, and lighten up a little bit. Maybe not give a compliment, but just, I don't know, try to be nicer or something like that. Communication, and especially with yourself, I feel like this compliment, give yourself a compliment today. Communication. I am a masterful communicator with the ability to say what I think and feel in a way that doesn't involve conflict. Watch as I dodge the bullets of sass and snark. Marvel as I avoid the traps of passive aggressiveness and victimhood. Be amazed that even though it's sometimes stressful, I choose to communicate an act that saves us all from the grips of certain unspoken seething. I love that. Say that 10 times fast. So yeah, see what I was saying about, like, when you're in this energy, it like comes off wrong, and you know that, and you don't want to do that. And I'm not saying like shame on you. Like, it's a response to your nervous system activation, but it's something you definitely need to work on, because you're not trying to take it on the people you care about. Like, this is your thing. It's nobody else's. You know what I mean? If you ask for more support, it'll be easier for you to be softer. So do that. You're not alone. I really hope this reading helped you, and I'd love to hear in the comments what you resonated with. If you feel safe enough to share, you can message me privately. I don't mind that at all. If there's any topics you want me to talk about, if you want to talk more about nervous systems, we can do that. Whatever it is, please share. Thank you for any likes, shares, comments on my channel. Subscribers especially are helpful, because I'm trying to monetize my YouTube. If you'd like to donate to my channel, I have CashApp, Venmo, and PayPal. It is not expected, but appreciated. I have a phone number now for my business. Woo! And I will put it in the comments as well. If you would like one free card, you can text me there. And then I will also post my booking link, and I currently, something newer that I have is video readings, and those are a little cheaper than the one-on-one readings. So, I specifically focus on trauma related stuff, but I can do any kind of reading that you want, with the exception of mediumship. So thanks again for being here, and I'm sending you a lot of love and hugs.